In the magnificent kingdom of Melee, creatures of every description coexisted peacefully: zebras, hippopotamuses, warthogs, giraffes, among numerous others. King Simba convened his entire kingdom to impart life-altering news. In a tone both serious and thrilled, he declared, "Our family is about to get bigger. Nala and I are overjoyed to announce we are expecting a cub, fulfilling our dream of honoring the circle of life." Having spoken those words, Simba gazed up at the sky and whispered, "Nala, my love, I'm coming." Weary, Nala settled down, whispering affectionately, "Simba, I'll be right here waiting for you, always." She lingered in her comfortable nook, enveloped by the kingdom's tranquility. Shortly after, Teen and Pumbaa walked over to their good friend Simba. He requested a significant favor: "Please don't frighten my young Kiara. I will be spending time with Nal, and will not return for quite some time." Therefore, Simba charged his faithful companions with the care of his daughter, confident in their ability to protect her. Immediately after Simba's departure, Timon and Pumbaa resolved to regale young Kiara with a vibrant and outlandish tale. They narrated their courageous battle against Scar, jokingly boasting they had devoured him. In the guileless manner of a child, Kiara exclaimed, "Dad says he was victorious against Sca." The conversation dissolved into laughter, permeating the atmosphere with joy. Speaking with a blend of pride, excitement, and practiced poise, she recounted how implicitly her parents trusted Teen and Pumbaa to safeguard her well-being, while also confiding her aspirations to embody a courageous lioness, despite frequent feelings of vulnerability. With his characteristic wisdom, Rafiki assured her that Simba, in his youth, had experienced similar doubts. She narrated the tale of how Mufasa, her grandfather, had once taken Simba to Pride Rock's summit and instructed him to roar under the stars. Remaining unconvinced, Kiara exclaimed, "I'll never be as brave as them." Recognizing her need for encouragement, Rafiki launched into another tale. Beyond the mountains, a seemingly endless drought gripped the land. However, on a fateful day, the skies turned ominous, and destiny intervened, marking the start of the legend of Mufasa. Mufasa and Scar were brothers long before their legendary status. The story immersed us in a vivid panorama of elephants and hyenas traversing expansive terrains. There, Mufasa's parents revealed the breathtaking beauty of their kingdom to their young son. "Close your eyes, and you can dream of all that will one day be yours," they whispered. Adding to the enchantment of the moment, they poured their hearts into a song, honoring life's beauty and pledging eternal togetherness, despite the hardships brought on by the drought. Their anthem embodied hope for a more luminous future. Their joy was fleeting, however, as a heavy rain started, overflowing the rivers and leading to a destructive flood. Mufasa's parents took every precaution to protect their young cub from the dangerous currents close to the cliff's edge. "You must depart immediately," his father insisted. "The opportunity remains." With a gentle urgency, his mother advised, "Take it one step at a time, watching your every footfall. You must flee." As the earth crumbled under the elephant's weight, Mufasa lost his footing and was carried away by the torrent. As Rafiki continued the tale, the powerful floodwaters converged with a faraway river, sweeping Mufasa away from his family and familiar surroundings. Far away in the kingdom, the small lion was unceremoniously dumped onto a floating log. "This is how we first encountered Taka." "Who are you, Taka?" King Obesai's curious and daring son inquired, having identified the outsider. "As a cub," Mufasa retorted. Mufasa pleaded until Taka finally yielded, disclosing the approaching peril. "There's a crocodile about to get you." Because Mufasa lacked the ability to swim, he was defenseless against the crocodile's swift approach. Taka attempted to assist, but the situation rapidly spiraled out of control. As despair threatened to engulf them, Tek's mother, emerged and valiantly faced the crocodile, rescuing her offspring. Her expression, though, betrayed a blend of fury and worry. "Never speak to strangers," she cautioned her son. Se insisted they abandon Mufasa, arguing that King Obesai would never accept an outsider in their pride, but Taka, motivated by compassion, defended him. "I instructed you to await my arrival. Abandoning him here is unacceptable, regardless of the regulations, Tucker. The king will never acknowledge him as a legitimate member of the court." "I'm not a stray, I've simply lost my way," Mufasa clarified. Touched by his explanation, Isi listened attentively as he described being swept away in the flood and torn from his family. "Do you have any idea how I might be able to return home?" he inquired, his voice filled with hope. With a serene calmness, the lioness responded, "Sometimes losing your way is also about discovering a new path, and that path can lead you to a new home." As she carried Mufasa into the Pride Lands, they were met by the imposing King Obesai. The leader regarded the cub with disdain, making his position clear. "We cannot accept a stray into this pride. The bonds of family are the strongest bonds." The very name Mufasa appeared to cause him profound distress. "Mufasa," he sneered, his voice laced with scorn. "The name signifies royalty, a title I alone possess in this domain. This cub is contesting his position. With a glint of malice in his eyes, Obesai schemed to eliminate the outsider, recalling Mufasa's arrogant claim that his mother had hailed him as the swiftest cub. Obesai announced a challenge, his voice resonating with confident assertion throughout the pride. If he truly possesses the speed he claims, he should demonstrate it by racing my son, Taka. With a scornful gesture towards Mufasa, Obesai's voice thundered, "After the prince overcomes him, I'll end his life with a single bite." The lions around them feeling the thick tension. However, just as the execution order was about to be given, Isi intervened. With sharp wit and diplomatic finesse, she calmly challenged the king, proposing, "If Mufasa prevails, he will remain in my care," her determination unwavering as she confronted her mate. To bolster her argument, she asserted, for Taka to rightfully ascend the throne, he must demonstrate his worth by finishing his initial trial. A king must earn his throne. This hard lesson awaits him. Knowing the race was crucial, the young athletes prepared. Driven by a mix of trepidation and resolve, Mufasa and Taka sprinted forward, under the watchful gaze of the pride. It quickly became apparent that Mufasa was in distress. Observing his competitor's dedicated effort, Taka felt a renewed sense of purpose awaken within him. "I don't have a secret," Taka murmured, breathless. "Actually, I do. I've always wanted a brother, Mufasa." Mufasa stared, shocked, but before he could speak, Taka did something surprising. He decelerated, letting Mufasa win, prioritizing their relationship over his ambition. The connection he had yearned for irrevocably broke. Mufasa is welcome to remain, but he must reside with the lionesses. He is forbidden from approaching Taka. Despite his attempts to project an air of control, his emotional distress was evident. Nevertheless, he suppressed his anger. Forged together by their common ordeal, they erupted into song, declaring themselves brothers from then forward. Although Asi, exasperated by the incessant grumbling regarding their conduct, announced with characteristic scorn, "For the last time, Taka is my sole heir. That disreputable outcast has no right to be on these lands. Return him to the pride of lionesses and ensure he stays far from my son." Obesai, his voice laden with gravity, dissuaded Taka from joining Mufasa. "Instead, remain here with me and develop your leadership skills." His face a mask of foreboding, he cautioned. "Never trust him. Betrayal is inevitable, it's the way of the outsider." Taka stared at him, aghast. Obesai, wearing a superior air, closed his eyes and declared, "Power resides in rest. Only by conserving our strength can we safeguard the pride." However, Taka sensed an unsettling feeling regarding the lesson. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the Pride Lands, Mufasa trained diligently, guided by Ai. Tek's mother had fostered the young lion, imparting advanced hunting techniques that set him apart from all others she had known. As time passed, Mufasa cultivated an exceptional sense of smell, a trait that Ai deemed unparalleled. While hunting, Mufasa lifted his head and tested the wind. "I'm certain there's an antelope herd to the south," he stated. "Isn't that remarkable?" Sometimes, a faint scent drifts by, a whisper of home carried on the wind. "It smells like home." Asha gazed at. With a tender gaze, Asha explained, "That scent you recognize is your mother's. Its lingering presence signifies she remains with you." Mufasa found solace in her words, which sparked a glimmer of hope and a revitalized sense of community, despite his continued status as an outsider. During a serene interlude, Mufasa revealed his most profound reflections. "Obesai will never truly accept me because I'm not related to him by blood. In his eyes, I will forever remain an outsider, a wanderer." With a warm gaze, Asha responded, "You are my family. Regardless of your origins or Obesai's words, you'll always be at home here with me. You'll always find sanctuary with me," he declared. But Mufasa, his voice tinged with a growing understanding, replied, "Perhaps you're right that I'm a wanderer, and maybe that's preferable. You are my true home, and in that case, I won't need to search for one." Thus, Rafiki's story rejoined the present. Mufasa shared our free-spirited nature, a wanderer just like us. Timon and Pumbaa blurted out, clearly delighted. Visibly irritated by their rudeness, Kiara silenced them with a sharp gesture, enabling Rafiki to proceed. Unbeknownst to all, T was covertly observing everything. Rafiki continued, his voice laced with mystery. Yet as he watched his brother and Asa, a dark menace lingered nearby. Ghostly white lions, phantoms of the sands, stalked forward, destroying the tranquil silence as the hunters materialized from concealment. Instantly, Mufasa rushed forward to safeguard A. From afar, Taka observed with dread, yearning to assist, yet paralyzed by fear. Instead of offering assistance, he opted to escape, abandoning his mother and Mufasa to confront the peril by themselves. With remarkable bravery, Mufasa triumphed over a white lion, rescuing A. Weary and battle-scarred, they limped back to the Pride, where Ai described the terrifying encounter. The lions were enormous, pale as specters. "Had Mufasa not intervened, I wouldn't have survived this day." Though her words sparked worried murmurs throughout the Pride, Mufasa refused to let the concern take root. In a firm voice, he cautioned everyone, lions are within a half-day's journey. Obasai, in contrast, did not feel the same pressing need. Then dispatch someone to investigate, Mufasa ordered, a note of irritation in his voice. After some hesitation, Obasai consented and dispatched a scout to verify the account. In private, he angrily confronted Taka with harsh words. You deserted your own mother, he accused. Far away, we met Kos, the White Lion's imposing and merciless king. A soldier under his command recounted the battle. He wasn't the leader of the pride, but he's the one responsible for your son's death. Kira was chilled to the bone by the news. Showing no mercy, he condemned the wounded warrior to be devoured by the lionesses. Obasai persisted in instilling his inflexible beliefs about power in Taka back at the pride. Suppose you had not abandoned your mother. Our legacy is paramount and must be preserved. I prefer not to deceive. Mufasa had been correct, he stated. Confronted by the impending danger, Obasai resolved to protect his heritage, making a choice that would alter the course of his family's future. He banished his son, Taka, to begin anew, compelling Mufasa to serve as his guardian and binding them to an unbreakable vow of fealty. At first, Mufasa declined, unwilling to abandon Asha. Asha, her eyes filled with a loving steadiness, answered, Your mother spoke to me of a land past the horizon, a verdant place blessed by a perfect sun. You must journey there to discover your true home. With a tender caress, she whispered, You feel it, as do I. Accept your fate within life's grand cycle. Tears streamed down their faces as they bid each other farewell. Returning to the present, Teen and Pumbaa broke into the narrative with silly jokes prior to excusing themselves to visit the restroom. Annoyed, Kiera brushed them aside, imploring Rafiki to proceed. Driven by honor and fueled by pride, Obasai resolved to confront King Cole, chieftain of the White Lions. Kiros, with his imposing and cold demeanor, made his purpose clear, Rafi said. Being the last pride of the Valley of Kings, I alone can claim to be the supreme lion. Obasai, caught in the inescapable web of duty and destiny, realized there was no way out. The cycle has now been broken. As Taka and Mufasa pressed onward, the spectral image of the White Lion materialized in their wake. Swim, Mufasa, Taka commanded, his voice ringing with the prince's authority. Yet Mufasa stood motionless, unyielding. Suddenly, Kiros materialized, his cruel eyes fixed on them. Who murdered my son? He demanded. His eyes came to rest on Taka, identified as the one carrying royal blood. There will be blood for blood, Kiros vowed, his tone icy. Hemmed in without escape, the atmosphere became unbearable. Overwhelmed by fear and desperation, Taka mumbled an apology before shoving. Mufasa approached the water, necessitating a leap. However, the peril had not yet passed. A white lioness gave chase, bounding after them, but a crocodile unexpectedly surfaced, seizing the huntress and dragging her beneath the water. Although briefly safe, they were left exhausted and vulnerable as the river's current swept them downstream. No matter where they flee, we shall pursue them relentlessly. During their escape, the brothers encountered a dignified lioness called Sarabi. I've been looking for other survivors from my cryopod. A few escaped the invaders, but you two are the only ones I've located so far. Their attempt to continue the conversation with Sarabi was interrupted by the sudden arrival of a flustered hornbill named Zazu, who blurted out, Please don't eat me. With a calmer tone, he continued, Sarabi is a princess. Her father entrusted me with her protection during her travels. This unforeseen development brought a valuable new ally into their quest to realize their destiny. The brothers informed Sarabi of their ambition to get to Mele. Nevertheless, she harbored doubts. Even with her misgivings, her brother's belief in discovering that paradise was unwavering. Specifically, we encountered a youthful Rafiki far inside a forest. He was an extraordinary baboon, distinct from all others. From the moment of his birth, he was blessed with extraordinary gifts, prophetic visions, the ability to communicate with insects and the moon, and the power of healing. They voted to exile him from the community. A juvenile monkey attempted to convince Rafiki to remain, but he replied serenely, The time has come for my departure. My family awaits me beyond these trees. During their travels, Rafiki's destiny intertwined with the lions. Seeing the stranger, Taka and Mufasa, believing he could be prey, attempted to frighten him off. The plan was unsuccessful. The lions, their curiosity piqued, inquired, Why show no fear when escape is impossible? With a mysterious air, Rafiki responded, I journey towards the light. Should you kill me, you shall never arrive at Mele. My brother awaits me there. Taken aback by his words, particularly his reference to Mele, the lions attempted to negotiate. Lead us to Mele, and we will spare you. I make no bargains. My path is my own, and yours is your own, Rafiki retorted. Just another lost soul too wretched to consume. Now, back in the real world, Teen and Pumbaa erupted in laughter. Rafiki totally stole Mufasa's thunder just to make it about himself, they howled. Mufasa's story cannot exist without Rafiki's, Rafiki countered, his voice a blend of indignation and serenity. Tears welling, Kiara gazed skyward, softly pleading, "Please Mom, Dad, hear me, come home." During the flashback, Rafiki imparted his wisdom to Mufasa, who confided in him about his fears, both his fear of water and the unsettling dreams where he sensed his parents' presence. Rafiki gently reassured him that he would always feel his parents' presence. Listening to your mother's voice implies her continued guidance. That evening, Rafiki snared a fish, but upon inspecting it, he whispered, "It's not ready," and returned it to the water. With the first light of day, the team pressed onward. Despite their initial skepticism, they quickly detected the aroma of a herd in close proximity. Heartened and filled with renewed vigor, they continued their journey, singing songs and bolstering their shared hope. While traversing the valley, Rafiki cautioned about a persistent threat. "Their eyes follow our footprints. Kiros is not giving up hope. They are accompanied by a lioness and their leader. Look at that baboon." Hoping to offer assistance, Mufasa advised him to speak with her gently, inquiring about her origins and possibly mentioning duck flowers. Mustering his courage, Taka walked up to Sarabi and, without thinking, blurted out, "You smell like a duck." Despite the unlikelihood, their conversation gained momentum, yet their nascent connection shattered with the sudden appearance of the white lions from the valley's far side. The white lions observed them with fierce, hunting stares. Taka, filled with unwarranted confidence, remained unalarmed until they realized the enemy could easily outflank them. As danger approached, Mufasa sought the aid of elephants, but Sarabi devised a different plan. Climbing a tree, she dislodged beehives onto the elephants, provoking a swarm. "This is not the situation I agreed to." Driven by a wild frenzy, the elephants wrought chaos and scattered the white lions. The group was currently safe, but they understood the danger remained. As the scene unfolded before him, Rafiki observed, "Even the smallest creature has its place in the great circle of life." Sarabi's strategy progressed as expected, however, it resulted in a consequence. She stumbled and plummeted from the tree. Mufasa rushed to her rescue without a second thought, while Taka, frozen by fear yet again, remained hidden in the shadows. After the chaos subsided, Rafiki employed his medicinal expertise to care for Sarabi's wounds. After a great struggle, she finally stirred, waking up in confusion. Bewildered, Sarabi inquired, "At whose hand?" Before Rafiki responded, Mufasa interrupted, "Taka saved you." Afterward, he expressed his quiet gratitude to Mufasa for his thoughtful generosity. That night, while they slept, Mufasa dreamt of his mother, recalling the warmth of her presence and her words, which evoked memories of the home he had lost. Sarabi also. Upon awakening, Mufasa devised a strategy. Ensuring their safe passage to Mele required concealing their trail from the white lions. Zazu proposed circling overhead to confirm they had evaded their pursuers. The strategy succeeded, and the white lions lost the scent for the first time. Having received Zazu's report, the group was finally able to rest. "I know it was you who saved me, not Taka," she murmured. "You are a magnificent lion, destined to be king." Though he first demurred, Mufasa ultimately beamed and serenaded Sarabi, acknowledging her bravery and compassion. They didn't realize Taka was lurking in the shadows, his heart filled with jealousy and rage. Utterly isolated, he vocalized his torment and anguish, admitting, "I cannot erase the image from my mind. My brother is gone, I'm all alone now." Consumed by profound anguish, Taka lost his footing and tumbled, finally halting before King Kiros. Consumed by resentment, Taka deceived his brother. "He stole my father from me, and now I will bring you to him." With that utterance, Taka forged a sinister alliance with the white lions. The following day, Taka nonchalantly rejoined the group, behaving as if nothing had happened. While expressing gratitude to Mufasa, he surreptitiously marked the ground, guiding the white lions to their whereabouts. Following an arduous and exhausting journey, they reached Mele, a true paradise. It was a vibrant oasis, abundant with water, lush vegetation, and diverse wildlife. Ecstatic, Rafiki finally found the baobab tree that had often manifested in his premonitions. His eyes gleaming with newfound understanding, he faced Mufasa and declared, "My visions consistently showed a brother at my side. You are that brother." With Kiros and his retinue present, the White Lion King finally unveiled the truth. "Mufasa, Taka was the one who guided them there. Indeed, Sarabi selected you, as did our parents before her." Fueled by a burning rage, the hero embarked on a quest for vengeance, determined to avenge his son's death. Mufasa's powerful roar commanded the attention of everyone present. Every creature plays a role in the delicate balance of our world, and collaboratively we can safeguard it. Motivated by Mufasa's powerful message, the animals joined forces with him to confront the looming danger. In a climactic cave battle, Mufasa clashed with Kiros as Taka observed from a higher vantage point. Scar, the White Lion King, ultimately overpowered and killed Mufasa following a fierce battle. As Kiros poised to strike the final blow, Taka heard his mother's voice resonate within his mind, a gentle reminder that his opportunity to become a hero would eventually arrive. Taka intervened and rescued his brother from danger. Leveraging his deep understanding of the land, Rafiki skillfully led the lions to safety amidst the raging conflict. A flash flood rapidly filled the cave. As the floodwaters powerfully surged, a massive boulder was dislodged from the hillside. Seizing his chance, Mufasa attacked Kiros, and the resulting avalanche buried the White Lion King, bringing his reign to a sudden end. As the floodwaters diminished, sunlight poured into the cave, bathing Mufasa in its glow as he stood, a figure of triumph tinged with humility. With a knowing smile, Rafiki approached him, proclaiming, "The great circle of life persists, and on this day, you have found your rightful place within it." Gravely wounded and utterly exhausted from the battle, Mufasa struggled to escape the cave. After a moment of wavering, Taka ultimately decided to assist him. Sarabi and Mufasa appeared outside to a gathering of animals. After uniting everyone during their time of need, Mufasa was declared the Lion King of Mele. Then, in a stunning and unexpected twist, Mufasa's mother emerged, very much alive. A rush of joy filled them as they reunited, yet she bore devastating news. His father was gone. Racked with remorse, Taka eventually came back and pleaded for absolution. Despite the other animals' desire for Scar's banishment, Mufasa wouldn't render his brother homeless. However, he articulated his stance unequivocally. "Your name will be Scar." Scar, seething with suppressed fury, averted his gaze, his eyes blazing with animosity as he witnessed Mufasa's triumphant ascent to Pride Rock and the resounding roar that heralded his kingship. Soaked to the bone in the downpour, Kiera unleashed a mighty roar, channeling the strength of her ancestors. Shortly thereafter, she spotted her father far away. With immense joy, she sprinted towards him, and they embraced warmly. Simultaneously, Teen and Pumbaa commended Rafiki for his narrative prowess. Accompanying them was a new member of the family, Kiera's younger brother. With youthful exuberance, the lioness pledged her eternal protection, securing the continuation of life's great cycle. Thus, the film concludes in joyous reunion, honoring family, heritage, and the unbreakable ties within the Pride Lands.